Indian ambassador to the United States, Taranjit Sandhu, speaks exclusively to WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibbal, on Prime Minister Modi's US visit. Sandhu says PM's visit was high on substance and symbolism. He also hailed the chemistry and equation between PM Modi and US President Joe Biden. Speaking on the Afghan security situation, Sandhu says that the Afghanistan crisis has exposed Pakistan's role. Listen in.
India-US relationship is being described as the most consequential relationship of this century. We know that the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had visited Washington, but since then there have been many visits, including, of course, by the Deputy US Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman, and of course, other officials to India. The Indian Finance Minister is in the US. But to talk about this very, very significant relationship with me is the Indian envoy to United States. So welcome to WION and pleasure to have you here, sir. My first question, an obvious question is, how do you see this relationship going forward?
See, Siddhant, let's start off with the Prime Minister's visit. It was a very important landmark visit, very significant in terms of symbolism, atmospherics, substance. You are aware of the background of the visit, that COVID-19, you yourself are here. Then, of course, there are regional and global developments. Despite all those, the summit took place and showed the commitment of the leadership. And in this, if I may say, there were very clear 7 elements of the visit. So it was the first in-person bilateral summit with the President Biden. Then it was the first physical meeting with Vice President Harris. Then first in-person Core Leaders Summit. There were the bilaterals with Japan and Australia. There were focused meetings with top CEOs. There was the return of Indian antiquities. And then finally, the address to the UN. Now, let me come to the bilateral part. There were very clear 10 takeaways. So first, of course, in COVID-19 healthcare, which due to the situation was very much in focus. Then on climate, we heard of the concept of trusteeship. The Prime Minister underlined about climate finance, transfer of technology. Then the third issue was cyber, in which promoting critical infrastructure, building capacities was discussed. Then there was the tech, in which expanding partnerships in new domains, including emerging technologies like space, health security, semiconductors, AI, 5G, 6G, future generation telecom technology, blockchain, etc. Then there was trade, and in trade mechanisms like Trade Policy Forum, Commercial Dialogue, High Technology Working Group, Economic and Financial Dialogue, these all are coming into play again, and they will enhance trade and economic cooperation. And not to forget that movement of skilled professionals, students, investors, it was reiterated that this is a priority in the enhanced bilateral economic and technology partnership. 6 was defense, and that you know well. 7th was terrorism, and in that, cross-border terrorism, Mumbai attacks, use of terrorist proxies, working together to deny logistical, financial, military support to terrorist groups. All this was covered. Then 8th was Afghanistan. 9th was international organizations, and in which India's UNSC membership, NSG membership, they all came in. And finally, the antiquities. And in that, I want to underline, in the joint statement, the Prime Minister and the President committed to strengthen efforts to combat the theft, illicit trade, and trafficking of cultural objects. And all those developments, the return took place under that. So what I said in the beginning, in terms of symbolism, atmospherics, substance, it was a very significant visit.